Wait, what? We shrink. I guess I could have made the pill bigger and then shrunk it, but whatever. It costs less energy. We're tiny. We're climbing into this pill. It's called the Bio Bunny. This is our new microscopic. It's probably bigger than microscopic. It's the size of a pill. This is our device for flying inside the human body. And now we have a test subject. We have hired this hobo straight off the train tracks to swallow us. And he's like, my pleasure. So we're flying around this dude's esophagus. Stefan's like outrunning white blood cells. They're like, oi, oi, oi. They got their little batons. We're not going down south. We're headed right up to the brain. So the reason why we're in the brain, the reason why I had that whole setup, is I wanted to talk to you very briefly about a thing called intrusive thoughts. I say very briefly because this is the third time I've recorded this segment. I seem to go on a bit because I find this fascinating. I don't know if it's 17 minutes fascinating, but here is what intrusive thoughts are. Some of you, almost all of you guys have had them, but most of you probably don't know there's a term for it. It's an unwanted thought. It's a thought that gets stuck in your head. It's something that scares you. It's a thought that you would never, ever, ever act on, but it gets stuck in a feedback loop. Hannah Reese wrote an article for Psychology Today. And she talks about her own experience with intrusive thoughts. She was a brand new mother. She has a little baby person in her arms. She's like, I love my son. He's super cute. He's dope. But when I stood at the top of the stairs with my son in my arms, I'd want to throw him down the stairs and watch his little broken body at the bottom of the stairs. And she goes, scary thought? Yes. Normal? Yes. Because that is an intrusive thought. She would never do that. She didn't. At least at the time of publishing that article. No, her son's much older now. He can fight back. An intrusive thought is something like that. You're sitting there with your loved one and they're talking and you're talking. You guys are having a good conversation and everything like that. And in your head, you just think, I just want to scream in her face, shut up, just shut up. And you're like, why am I thinking that? Why would I ever think about someone I loved in such angry terms? It's a fluke of biology. We don't know what causes them. That's what's so bizarre. We know how to treat them. You acknowledge that they're there and just move on. A lot of people, and I've done this too, a lot of people, like when I was having intrusive thoughts and didn't really know what it was, I finally Googled, what is going on in my brain? Why am I thinking of being so cruel to my loved ones? And it pops right up, intrusive thoughts. I don't know if you Google that exact term, but it pops right up. You're having an intrusive thought. They're totally normal. We don't know what causes them. We do know, this is interesting, we do know that intrusive thoughts can lead to obsessive compulsive disorder. So Hannah Reese, for example, it would become obsessive compulsive disorder if she refused to stand at the top of stairs. I've actually wanted to do this segment for a while because, again, I think everyone suffers from them. I want to share with you some of my intrusive thoughts because they're actually so stupid. Like, in the moment, they scare me. But when I say them out loud when I was prepping this segment, and it's one of the reasons why I went on for 17 minutes, they're so dumb that you'll laugh at them as I'm shivering in the corner. And longtime listeners of the show will start to recognize a pattern. They'll be like, that's why he does those type of stories. Because they trigger my intrusive thoughts. Stuff I would never, ever do. If you listen to the show long enough, you're like, oh, he's mentioned that one. He's mentioned that one. Let's take a look at some of the thoughts, intrusive. It's a very personal episode. How do you like this? As we're floating around in this hobo's brain, it's a very personal episode. I've never committed self-harm. I've never cut myself. I've never attempted suicide. I've never done anything like that. I love myself. I love my body. I have this weird thing about spoons scooping my eyeballs out. We talked about that on Friday's episode, a little foreshadowing there for you. This weird thing about it's only when I'm in the kitchen and I'm preparing food and I grab a spoon, I think about scooping my eyeballs out. I don't know why not just one of them. I mean, I'm not Superman. I think the first one would stop me, the amount of pain. But I just recently did that episode about that woman pulling her eyeballs out because she was on meth. Swallowing rocks is a weird one. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. I know you guys are thinking I'm the rock biter from the Neverending Story. With my strong hands, I couldn't hold on to my friends. Apparently, he's also Vin Diesel now. My family couldn't hold on to him. No, I'm not the rock biter. I used to go into like witch Wiccan stores all the time, witch stuff, supply shops. You know, it's basically Lowe's Hardware, but for the paranormal. And they'd have those little polished rocks. I'd always want to eat them. Whenever I'd walk by that, and I wasn't hungry. It wasn't like if I went to McDonald's beforehand, I wouldn't have this problem. I could walk into a place, specifically, it was a weird thing. It was it had to be a store that was all magical and stuff. I'd want to swallow polished rocks. I would never think about it. I'm never walking on the street and being like, now that's some quartz. That's some quartz that I want to eat. Never. I've never been on like caving and been like, I'm like sucking on a stalactite. No, it was just polished stones in Wiccan stores because I've been to a lot of them. Super weird, intrusive thoughts. When I'm working out and I'm lifting those weights, those 80-pound weights in each arm, on each finger, when I'm lifting weights and I have them above my head, I think about dropping them on my head. Now, it's not like I'm afraid I'm going to drop them. It's different than that. It's not that I'm afraid I'm going to lose my grip and I'm going to drop them. It's the thought that I'm going to do it on purpose. It's an unwanted thought. I would never want